Welcome back to part 2. Okay, now let's look at general lymphatic tissue. So you've got inside lymphatic tissue lymphoid follicles. Those are going to be these dark purple circles. You'll see these in a lot of different organs in a lot of different places. All the lymphatic follicles or nodules have lots of B cells in there. In fact, the middle of it is called the germinal center. So think of follicle is a place where things grow. Plants germinating have them growing. So that's where the B cells, whenever they encounter the right pathogen that they make antibodies against, those cells start rapidly dividing and cloning themselves. That's where it happens. You can find these in different large lymph organs, or you can have these small patches of them, like in your small intestine and your appendix. Okay, the main lymph organs are lymph nodes. You've got lots of lymph nodes in your body. Um, Externally, superficially, you've got them inguinal, down in your pelvic region, axillary armpit, and cervical neck regions of your body. So sometimes when you have swollen lymph nodes, you can just feel them there. All of these circles, dot, 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 lymph nodes. Inguinal, axillary, cervical. Okay, so why do we have them? Number 1, filter the lymph. You'll have fluid around your tissues coming in. A lot of bacteria and pathogens will move through this way as well. We want to clean it out, make sure that any pathogenic organisms or debris gets taken care of. And next, we want to activate our immune system. So if you have a specific type of bacteria that your lymph node finds, we want to activate the cells specialized against it so that we can attack the rest of the bacteria that's gotten in. Okay, next, I would normally draw on the board a lymph node and go through the parts. So I would recommend taking your sheet of paper and drawing it. So first, on the outside, you've got a fibrous capsule. So lymph nodes are kidney shaped. They've kind of got a larger portion on one side and an indentation on the other. That indentation is called the hilum. You'll have these projections of the capsule that go inwards called trabeculae. So remember trabeculae, carne, meaty beams. Trabeculae are beams of fibrous tissue. You've got 2 parts. The outer portion is called the cortex, the inner the medulla. Cortex outside, medulla middle. They've got different cells in there, they look different. In the cortex, you've got a lot of those lymphatic follicles, where you've got dark circles with B cells inside it. Deeper in the cortex, you'll have some T cells moving around, circulating through. Okay, so here's our lymph node. Fibrous capsule, trabeculae extending inwards. Your cortex is going to be this outer region. The medulla is just this middle part right here. And in the cortex, you can see all these lymphatic follicles while you're finding B cells. Here's a tissue view. That's the capsule on the outside. Cortex going towards medulla. Cortex, lymphatic follicle, germinal center with the B cells. And there's a lymph node that someone has dissected out, which is really neat looking. Okay, now in the middle, the medulla, you've got a couple parts. You've got medullary cords, which are these pieces of reticular fibers. And on there, you're going to have B cells, T cells, macrophages in here. And the sinuses are the spaces between the cords. Okay, so how lymph moves through is it starts in afferent lymph vessels. So remember, afferent, A, first letter of the alphabet, it comes first. They go into the capsule, move through the vessel, and exit at the hilum through the efferent vessels. Okay, so here, afferent vessels coming in, lymph moves through, and then remember the hilum is the indentation, and leaves through the efferent vessels. Notice there's a lot more afferent vessels than there are efferent vessels. This is important to help slow lymph down. We want to give these cells in here time to see what's moving through. So basically, it's like going from 5 lanes of traffic down to 2. You're going to have a lot of slowdown there as the fluid and proteins moves through. Yep, good. So it allows all of our cells more time to function. Okay, so all the parts, this is a lymph node, capsule, trabeculae, lymphatic follicles inside the cortex, medulla in the middle, medullary cords, and spaces the sinuses. Okay, go through those questions. Pause the PowerPoint. Okay, more review questions that you can do. Now let's get into the specific organs. So we talked about lymph nodes. Here we go, spleen. Your spleen is your largest lymph organ. It's served by the splenic artery and vein. It's also kind of kidney-shaped, and whenever you have veins and arteries entering in, there's going to be an indentation called the hilum. Your splenic artery is huge. You have a ton of blood coming in to your spleen at any time. That's because it's going to be important for filtering the blood. It's got 2 different functions. First, you've got your lymph cells there. It's going to be important for immune response. Second, you're going to have a lot of red blood cells in here. Your spleen goes through and looks for old red blood cells and breaks them down and recycles them. Okay, so there's the spleen, splenic artery. Your spleen is on your left side. Oh, and this is a great picture. I had a student whose friend was in a motorcycle accident, and he went 3 days before he went to the doctor. And when they went in, they realized his spleen was severely damaged and they had to remove it. It's amazing that he did not bleed to death. Okay. Other things the spleen does is it stores iron from breaking down the red blood cells so we can reuse it. It stores platelets. And then it contains lots of different cells. Okay. So we talked about how the spleen has 2 main functions, immune and breaking down red blood cells. You can see different areas of the spleen for each of those functions. Okay, you've got white pulp and red pulp. White pulp is going to have lymphocytes and do immune functions. So white pulp has white blood cells. Red pulp is going to have lots of red blood cells, where we break down red blood cells and you've got macrophages breaking things down. Red pulp with lots of red cells is going to be the pinker in there. White pulp with all the white blood cells is going to be purple. Remember, white blood cells dye purple? So you can see white pulp, white pulp, white pulp. And you'll find those along central arteries. Next, thymus. Your thymus is important in early life function. It's actually largest when you're young, and it starts atrophying and slowly becoming less active as you age. Your thymus is important because that's where you train in T cells. Those are one of the types of lymphocytes. Your thymus doesn't have any lymphatic follicles because there are no B cells. It's all about the T cells. So that's where we train T cells to make sure they can identify antigens and they don't attack our body. So here, instead of follicles, we have what are called thymic corpuscles. So those are where we've got the T cell development, making sure they attack, not us. Okay, so there are the thymic corpuscles. Good. Yep. So like I said, it's only for T lymphocytes. There are no B. You will not find any lymphatic follicles there. Now, mucosa-associated lymphoid tissue, or MALT tissue. In your mucous membranes, you'll find lymph tissue. You'll find lymphatic follicles. So your mucous membranes are a barrier between you and the outside. If you think about it, when you eat food, it goes through mucous membranes. It's all kind of external until it gets absorbed into the body. we want to make sure nothing bad is getting in to our body. So you're going to have these different areas with lymphatic tissue to be filtering and checking on it. So you've got larger portions in your tonsils, Peyer's patches in your small intestine, and your appendix. Okay, first tonsils. You've got 4 tonsils in your oral cavity. When you get sick, you can see sometimes that they'll have like pus and become enlarged. Your tonsils are the first place your food and air gets filtered. They're really cool looking. So here, tonsils have interesting structures called tonsillar crypts. So bacteria, when it comes through, it thinks, hey, I've gotten into the body, and it moves down. But really, you're just exposing your immune cells to those pathogens. And then they can already start activating an immune response that'll spread through your whole body. Next, Peyer's patches. So these are in your small intestine wall. So if you look, you've got your epithelial cells, connective tissue, and then underneath there, you'll have lymphatic follicles. Those are the Peyer's patches. It's also in your appendix. They didn't know the function of your appendix, and now what scientists think is that it helps keep things separate from getting into the body. Cool. More questions for you? Good. Okay. Best of luck in the lymphatic tissue. Uh, hmm. Okay, and here you have your last set of questions. Review the video and answer them. Best of luck on the lymphatic system.